Welcome back to Gatekeeper Media's coverage of the 2023 Lundbyparken Open presented by Clash Discs. This is the second event of the 2023 Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour, and we are delighted to bring it to you on Gatekeeper Media. I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Max Regitnig.
What's up, guys?
So, Max, we've seen three young guns going up against Eric Oakley. I guess you mentioned that one of them may not be that young. Yeah. But really nice to see kind of some fresh faces on disc golf coverage.
For sure. Dennis and Elias starting to play MPO the last couple of years. Definitely showing that they have the right tools to make it on the MPO scene. Mm-hmm. Dennis definitely close on a lot of long putts in the front nine, so hopefully you can dial that in on the back. Definitely a little more open, so keep it in bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Although this first hole, hole 10, is going to be pretty short and technical, only about 86 meters. You have this up the middle line that the drone is flying. You can throw a turnover shot through there, or swing a hyzer up the road on the right, although it is challenging to park that direction. Oakley makes the catch cam turn around. We'll go a little bit long.
Dennis continuing showing his touch with his forehand with the crow. Nice little hyzer flip down the middle line.
Yeah, that's such an impressive and useful shot on short technical courses like this.
For sure. And I mean, with all the rocks on the fairway, it's nice to be able to land something softly, really control the full flight of it, and just kind of helicopter next to the basket. A couple of long looks here from the guys taking the hyzer route. Definitely harder to get close to the basket with this hyzer. Just kind of an awkward angle towards the end. It really just kind of funnels you long of the basket.
Oakley with his jump putt, unable to convert, and that leaves Dennis with the last birdie look.
Yeah, inside the circle, maybe 8 meters, so a little disappointed to see that not connect for the birdie. But Dennis still 3 down for the round, so he's still making progress.
Yeah, everybody looking to take a par here. Not exactly what you're looking for. This was the third easiest hole on the day.
Yeah, hole 11, par 3, 110 meters. Bit of a left to right moving shot, and then a downhill stoop down to the green there. A couple of trees to navigate late.
Oakley with the forehand fairway driver, and that's pretty parked.
Yeah, it looks like it has a little rock backstop there, so a nice left to right. Yeah, lefty hyzer, righty forehand. Should funnel nicely down to the basket.
Yeah, well managed by Dennis. And if we've seen Elias go to that forehand a couple times, it seems like he's very dedicated to that hyzer release rather than being able to force something over.
Yeah, he definitely puts some power behind it. I know he likes to throw some glow PD2s with that forehand. I'm not sure if he's disking down to FD3, but definitely very committed. And, I mean, yeah, great release. Really clean. Just got caught up a little early.
Yeah.
How's this look for birdie?
Henrik missed his birdie putt a little bit low, and you heard the card kind of clapping for him after the shot. I think because of how blind this green is, as Dennis able to convert for his birdie. As blind as this green is, you don't really know until you've gotten down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very late fade over that hill, so definitely completely blind to the tee, and honestly, you could probably hit a couple trees late and not even know it.
All four of those seem to be relatively clean, not affected too much by the ground play. But a couple birdies, a couple pars. Here we are on hole 12, par 5 at 254 meters. We are going to snake our way to the right out into a field, and then there's going to be stakes all around it. Kind of your first chance to air it out for quite a while, or in quite a while, I should say. And the basket perched just behind a rock, very picturesque. We saw Oscar have to take his mark from inside that rock.
We also saw this big hyzer over the top from Proctor round 1. We'll see if one of our card mates here choose to chooses to do that, but Eric finding some out of bounds there. Not sure if he got a tree kick out to find that or just a little misrelease.
It was definitely overturned. I think as we noted on our first par 5 of the round on hole 3, playing it station to station might be the way to go, not trying to be too aggressive. And a gorgeous shot by Elias, nearly lined up with the short tee pad.
Yeah, getting almost all the way through the woods part of this hole, so should have a pretty open second shot out into the field.
Henrik with a good forehand as well. Dennis kind of point blocked, goes straight down. And I like the efficiency of Henrik's forehand also, kind of coming from a high arm slot and just a lot of wrist action to make it go.
Yeah, Eric finding that OB, but he also kind of had just an open hyzer, so I don't know if that kind of played to his favor, even though he's taken a penalty stroke. He might have been able to bite off a bit more distance than these guys in their second shots.
Everybody kind of having to sling a hyzer around the mandatory tree.
This was Elias's drive, so definitely has a lot to work with there, but yeah, unfortunately finding that OB.
Yeah, had the helping wind and everything, but still hung out a little too far right.
I think that'll be a big key for Elias to be able to score in this back nine. With all the OB in these open holes, just keep it in bounds, don't go for anything too big, and I think he'll be able to stack up some birdies.
Go in. No way.
Oakley slings the hyzer, frustrated to have hit some rocks as it approached. So he will be putting 5. Dennis clears and is parked. Perfectly done.
And yeah, Elias definitely known for his lengthy jump putts. Whether or not you think it's still a putting motion is maybe up for debate, but was able to put some nice pace on that one. And Eric saving the par with the OB stroke. Yeah, definitely some frustration, obviously, with that roll back off the rocks, but able to compose himself and hit a pretty lengthy putt for par.
Yeah, that's really big for his round. Going out of bounds and kind of getting the rotten reaction, still saving the 5. You see Dennis also in for 5. Elias doing the same. On the day, this hole scored a quarter stroke over par, the third hardest.
Bar none, dude. He's so good.
And more spice. Is that good?
Check out the whole lineup at clashdisc.com.
Hole 13, staying out in the open here, aka Oskar-Stenar. A lot of rocks around here, playing kind of as a double island. A lot of hazard surrounding the basket and this little landing zone. Probably not more than circle 2 around the basket, and you're finding the hazard.
The shot by Oakley appears to have almost the distance and is going to be marked safe.
Yeah, 131 meters, still a lengthy shot, but definitely within, I think, everybody's wheelhouse on this card.
And we are playing into a slight headwind today. Have to manage that also.
Yeah, tough to see exactly where that hazard starts by the basket, but
This is trouble for Elias. It does go out of bounds.
yeah, a little too flippy on that one.
No doubt in my mind. That is stable disc.
And
Love it, dude.
a
Yes.
good hyzer
What a
release to
shot.
get over into the headwind. Very well done by Henrik.
Yeah, that looked like the best of the group. Probably getting up to that rocky slope just before the basket. Should have a shorter circle 1 look from Henrik.
And nicely done by Eric Oakley. converting on the second hardest hole of the day. I think with as much hazard and out of bounds at this distance, not surprising. Dennis knocks down.
Yeah, it was tough to see where he actually ended up off that tee shot, but kind of in the trees there close to the OB, but looks like he stayed safe and was able to card the birdie.
Mm-hmm. And his putting has let him down a little bit, but it's also gained him some strokes. That was a bonus putt
For sure.
up onto the elevated basket.
Henrik able to card the birdie as well.
And 3 birdies for our card, once again on the second hardest hole. Hole 14, 204 meters, a par 4. There's out of bounds to the left, and definitely an opportunity to really open up on your drive.
Yeah, wide open here. Not sure if we have a similar wind or how it is located with the previous hole, but Eric not getting maybe as much as he wanted. Looked like he got a little low on that release, but still wide open, all to play for there.
For sure. And lush, grabby grass.
For sure. We're starting to get into the, maybe early summer months in Sweden, but still some nice growth out here.
And I'm sure a lot of our American fans have been enjoying comfortable weather for quite some time. For these Swedish players, great to be in short sleeves and shorts, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know they had some pretty warm weather early in the spring, so maybe not the first time they've been wearing shorts, but it's still not the longest summer up in the Nordic countries. So
Elias had a good shot to give himself a chance. Oakley going to the forehand.
splashes it in from deep. I mean,
Wow.
I can't imagine he got half of that from the tee. So I mean, maybe 110.
Yeah, that
Meter
was
throw-in?
that was a big forehand hyzer throw in. It barely stayed in the cage.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was just going to bounce off the top of it. It just came with such a steep angle, but able to stick it.
Yeah, grats to Eric, the only eagle on the day. Henrik having to follow that up. Hangs it out a little bit too far right. Dennis putting himself in Dennis range at about circle's edge.
Eric, all smiles, shouting out his infinite disc
I believe so.
thought space. I mean, he's got so many sponsors that, I'm sure he's trying to shout out everybody. Elias not quite getting the height on that one. Dennis finding this little sinkhole, but doesn't matter. Denkadege is automatic.
Nicely done. So, kind of a score for everybody here. We got the eagle, we got the birdie. Gonna have a couple pars. And move on to hole 15.
Hole 15, par 3, 97 meters. We got an elevated tee shot or basket here. Got a bit of a slope to kind of shield that right-hand backhand skip into the green. And at 97 meters can kind of throw whatever you want. Definitely saw some big hyzers from our first round group and maybe a fairway from Eric and able to keep it close.
Yeah, trying to go back to back, it seemed. This was the easiest hole on the course on the day. And with less wind than we saw in round 1, much easier to throw your comfort angle.
Yeah, nice to see them elevate a basket here on the easiest hole in the course. Not a typical thing, I would say, on Swedish courses that they mess around with elevated baskets. So maybe trying to elevate their game and elevate the baskets. And yeah, Elias almost ringing that up for the ace. Great bid.
Good putt by Dennis to grab himself a turkey and get the card started. Is that something you think they're borrowing from the American Disc Golf Pro Tour?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the caddy book, it is called DGPT Korean, so DGPT basket. So they're definitely learning from the Pro Tour, throwing up some baskets on some advertisement poles. Nice to see Disc Sport, one of the bigger retailers out of Stockholm there. But yeah, I mean, Sweden still a lot of shorter technical par 3 courses. Trying to spice it up with some distance, and nice to see them
Kind of borrowing the concept. I guess when you have a hole that's as straightforward as this, you can add OB, but this makes a feature on the hole. Hole 16, a par 4 at 166 meters. We're coming from the open back into the woods. You need to punch your shot straight, and then as this sign indicates, you're going to dogleg to the left, and then a little drop off over top of some rocks. Nice to have some signs to direct where you're going, especially for Eric, who is on a little bit of a heater here and playing the course only for his second tournament round.
Probably a good kick. I like that. Hit the
Yeah, both Dennis and Eric on a bit of a 3-hole streak here. Eric actually 4 down through the last 3 with that eagle on hole 14. Hope to see these guys continue this hot play. Both 7 down for the round, so definitely setting the pace in the second round.
Dennis with a fairway hit, but not a ton of distance, and Elias pulling his shot over. Looks pretty jungly in there, Max.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, coming out from the more open holes, maybe a little jarring to have to hit these tight gaps again, shape some shots. So, as we saw from round 1, these guys struggling a little bit to keep it clean down the fairway. Henrik having to lay up for his second shot, probably par at best.
Good play. Good play.
Yeah, some smart position golf thus far,
That's so
as
cool.
Henrik is going to have to throw his third. This is diving into the basket, but a rude ground reaction.
Those rocks just before the cliff down to the basket.
As you called it, kind of the half throw, half putt out of Elias.
Yeah.
Good forward progress, and Oakley going to the forehand from his kind of crummy lie.
Couldn't quite see that finish, but looked like it was short of these big rocks, so maybe a long circle 2 look for Eric.
Mm-hmm. Wow, full commitment on the downhill run. And a little softer bid from Henrik. Going to have to settle for the bogey. This is Eric for the last birdie chance on the card.
Knee on rock. Ooh, that looked really good. Had a bit of a tricky footing there. Had to straddle that rock, but definitely got the power on it. Just a little bit right.
Mm-hmm. Very casual for Dennis to collect his 4. And we went from the 2 easiest holes on the course to the 5th hardest, averaging .21 over par. Definitely jarring to have to go back into the woods like that.
Yeah, another tighter woodsy shot. Hole 17, par 3, 91 meters. Pretty much straight and then hard right finish. Not sure if we saw any inside lines there. Probably going to see, I want to say 3 forehands and a backhand from our lefty, Dennis.
Yeah, everybody following that same counterclockwise spin. Dennis has pulled this over a little too far, but does get a favorable kick in the direction of the basket.
Yeah, pretty late too, so at 91 meters, probably might even have a circle 2 look from there. Elias going to the standstill forehand. Looks like he got some good snap on it. Good trajectory.
And got the distance.
Yeah, good speed control there.
Henrik a little bit more inside. We'll need to punch. and does fairly well. That should be a putt.
Big up and down movement from Dennis. Was able to get all the way through up to the basket, so it should be par cleanup from Dennis. Birdie look for Elias. Looks like he was a little frustrated to see that fall out, but
Yeah, sure seemed like a lot of chains. Oakley continuing his good work, gets to 14 under for the event. And Henrik, this is a much needed birdie,
Yeah, good hit.
and does collect.
nice little bounce back from Henrik after that bogey on 16. Able to get himself back under par. A couple pars from Dennis and Elias.
And on to hole 18. We're going to close it out with a very short island hole, only about 76 meters, playing a little bit downhill. Basket tucked to the back right corner from the tee. So whatever you're most comfortable with, forehand, backhand. Oakley going to try to drill a birdie into the ground and just let it not skip.
Nicely done there. Smart with that putter play just to land it flat. Don't have to worry about any skip.
And I agree, Henrik is so smooth. Gonna bullseye his final shot of the day.
Nice pickup for Henrik just to get a couple under par late. Dennis finding an early tree out of that gap. Unfortunately, not making the island.
And I believe he was bogey free up to this point. Really the only bad miscue we've seen from this young player.
Maybe just thinking too much about the island and kind of forgetting about the gap he has to hit. Elias is straddling that.
What a little perch.
Wow, yeah. No OB graphic there, so looks like log is inbounds. Dennis, unfortunately, not being able to hit from the drop zone. Elias taking advantage of that nice break, picking up the birdie to finish off his round. 3 down.
Yeah, definitely a delight to play. You can see the potential. You can see how he was able to shoot that good hot round in the first. Oakley, we're going to see him for the 3rd round in a row on this Gatekeeper Media lead card.
Yeah, 9 down. That was, yeah, one harder than our tournament last round. So definitely pushing the pace. But looks like he's tied 2nd. So I think we're going to see a hot round from off our lead card.
Yeah, absolutely. As Axel Wernborg shoots the 12 down, and James Proctor also shooting that course record. We will see Eric Oakley and Dennis Augustsson once again in our final round lead card at the Lundbyparken Open. And Max, I certainly hope that folks are going to tune in. We know there's some good golf left to play.
Yeah, a couple of big hot rounds there. 12 downs from Axel and James, so surely a nice finish for this tournament in Sweden.
For sure. For Max Regitnig, I'm Andrew Fish, and thank you for joining us on Gatekeeper Media's coverage of the 2023 Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour.